down the crack one night, 10 beers, and I would get a haircut.
Stand.
So I'll be home in half an hour.
Invocation first. Nancy.
Father God, we come before you tonight asking for your wisdom, knowledge, and discernment for those representing us to know your will for Princetown. We ask your peace and unity that only you can give. Thank you for working your will in our town. Bless those who represent us and their families. We pray as your word says, blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. We declare this for our town. In Jesus' name, amen.
Please remain standing for the pledge. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Call the meeting to order at 7:07. Crystal, could you read the roll, please?
Councilman Pervoldi?
Here.
Councilman Jacaruso?
Here.
Councilwoman Gray? Or
Here.
Councilman Gray, sorry. Councilwoman Moore? Here. Supervisor Esposito?
Present. Also present is our attorney, Gerard Parisi, and our town clerk, Crystal Como, and our dog control officer.
Woof, woof.
Okay, before we give privilege of the floor, I think is he here? Our historian, Mr. Daly, would like to take the floor and has something he would like to say. And
Thank you, Supervisor Esposito. He used to be proud of you. In my career, I've done a few things one way or another. But tonight, I am very privileged to honor two people.
could you speak up just a little bit?
Oh,
so
sure.
I can hear.
Yeah. I'm sure that you're all aware of the Hometown Heroes program.
Yes.
Am I loud enough now? My close friend, Miss Great Bishop, and I devised the whole program here for two wonderful service veterans. And tonight, we are honoring them with a little speech, a little adulation, and a trophy. My first man tonight is a hometown hero, Mr. Shane Bishop. All right, Navy man, 4 years active, 2 years reserve. All right, noted patrolling in the Caribbean Ocean, and noted for his tremendous work on the USS Cole, which was savagely, almost sabotaged. A good man. Came home, works at GE, wonderful family, lovely wife, 2 lovely daughters, and a lovely mother. Good job. You got another thing coming. Nice young man here. You don't you think? Look at that young man. All right. 17 years old. His name. He didn't go to campus protest. He didn't put no flag. He didn't even think for a farm exemption. Stayed in the jungles in Vietnam, plowing roads, making sure that there was a landing path for the medevac helicopters to come in. Came home, worked very hard for his family dairy business, delivering milk to the fine dairies in Schenectady. Seal tests, the Conley brothers, Broadway Dairy, right? While attending the heavy-duty equipment, building such structures as Albany Medical Center, the Knickerbocker Arena, right, and the Albany Airport. Taking on a lovely wife for 49 years. Raising a beautiful son, Scott. Educated man himself. Cobleskill College, Union College, a teacher. Tough time of year to be a teacher, right? The 2 toughest jobs during the pandemic, teacher and nurse. Scott has prevailed in both of them. Dates right after Jim on the block. On a personal note, he is the best neighbor and the best man you could have. I give you one story with him. A couple years ago, this is how generous he is. We're in the garage watching the football game, trying to figure out who's going to win, who's going to lose. We probably lost. Stray dog comes into the driveway. Mr. Gray looks. Now it's cold outside. Let's look.
Can you turn around so you can
Oh,
share the,
Stray dog comes into the driveway, right? Mr. Gray says, we'll let the dog in. He's got a nice fireplace going. It's all good. Warms up the dog, gives it some substance, gives it some water. Says to himself, I think I know who this person is. Now, he might not tell you this, but he is very methodical. He has everything written down in his little notebooks. Okay? Takes out the notebook, finds out who the person is, calls the lady up. Lady comes home comes over to his house with the little kid. No, it's Christmas. The little kid was thrilled that the dog was back. All right? He says, I wish I had some more food. I'd give it to you. He says, well, things have been kind of tough. All right? He's a card player. Goes to the card. Pulls out the card. All right? Says, here, you go up to Ricky Peterson's place, tell him I sent you, get some nice substance for the dog. She said, I really appreciate that because times are tough. He says, well, maybe I can help you out a little bit for Christmas. Goes to the card again, shakes hands, says to the kid, have a nice Christmas. That's my story. That is the kind of man he is. In the words of his father, all right, he's done a damn good job in life. That's my story.
I see it.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. He, as you all know, I got very sick this year, and he was one of the first people to call me and tell me he would help me in anything I needed, and he did. I needed help. My tractor needed work, needed to get my snowball around, even though I couldn't do it, I could have others do it. I gotta give you, you're right, that's the way he is, and I appreciate him as a neighbor as well.
So, Luke, these are built to go outside as long as they come into the winter, wherever you feel they could be presented to the people that come to the wall.
I'd like to thank Doug too. He's certainly been a good neighbor. He's helped me out, so cuts our field, and he's helped me out quite a bit. Thank you, Doug.
It's okay. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Lou, you're on a good meeting.
Mr. Gray.
Thank you.
Now that you brought this up, I've noticed that over in Amsterdam, they hang these up on all of the telephone poles
Right,
going up Route 30.
right.
And I don't know if you could, if you would like to get a hold of National Grid, see if we can do that in our town. And there's certainly other people in our town that are hometown heroes.
Yes.
One of them is Nick Morris Sr., who's in the hospital right now. He's our highway superintendent. I wish everybody would say some prayers for him.
Sure.
Maybe we can do this, and you can get a committee together of a few people in our town that would be willing to look at our hometown heroes,
Right,
and maybe get a hold of Niagara or National Grid,
right.
and see if they would be intent on letting us place signs all up and down Route 7.
Right.
I think
Well,
that would be a very good idea.
I started off with this, and I have to tell you, Lou, I'm not really friends with the bureaucracy because I spent 30 years in it. And we made a couple calls. I got, well, maybe here's an application, maybe you could do that. So I called a friend of mine that runs the Altamont Enterprise. All right, here, Mr. Daly, whatever you need. We took the pictures over, Ms. Gray retrieved them, and that's the finished.
If you would like us to, the town board, to maybe submit a couple names to you,
That's fine.
maybe 3 or 4, or why you have to have like 4 more plus, and you could have the committee.
Sure,
Maybe you could
I'll work out
work
something.
on that, and if the town board would like to submit some names, maybe we can give them to you
Sure,
to pick from,
sure,
to look over our hometown heroes.
that's fine.
And we
Like I
do
said,
recognize them in the newsletter as well. Every newsletter that's
Right.
published,
Yeah.
their name is, they're recognized for their services. as well.
Well, we did this for my father-in-law a number of years ago. And it does look quite prominent when you put it someplace where there's, a fair amount of traffic and stuff like that. Because it's recognizing people that literally put their life on the line, put their life on hold, all right? Gave up, happy years of his life. I mean, these are young people, all right? They're not college kids partying. All right, like when I was young, these are young people who devoted, years of their life to going into turmoil and stress and all the stuff, and, still coming out with, productive and working and doing the right thing. So I feel that, they should be recognized for this.
Thank you for your effort, really
That's
appreciate
my-
it.
We'll see if we can get a couple names together, and
That would be good.
and you can work on this, if you
That's
need something from the town, maybe we could, and I know Angelo, Santa Barbara, has been very active
Right.
in these kind of things, if I'm not mistaken, am I right?
I mean, all it takes, from what I know, is you put some type of a stanchion in here and mount it. And as long as you take it in before the bad weather comes.
You've seen them in Amsterdam, haven't you?
Oh yeah, and I've actually seen them out. My father-in-law has one in the cross-section of Quaker Street and Route 7. And they do look nice.
Yes.
Although I have to be a little prejudiced because the blue on this one is a lot nicer than the fuchsia on them. You've seen them. Blue looks nice, don't it?
That's very nice.
Thank you. My respect.
So if anybody on the town board has some names they'd like to submit to work on this with Mr. Daly, and submit them to him. I think maybe 5, 4 plus him.
First name was-
You would need 5. Like I said, maybe you can get a hold of Angelo. Maybe you can get a hold of Angelo Santa Barbara. He's very good in the service sector, so he may be able to help you out with this.
That would be good.
Can you talk with Angelo about it? Thank you. Okay. And as I said, our highway superintendent is now in the hospital. We're hoping for his speedy recovery. Anyone wants to say a prayer for him, we would appreciate it.
Just a picture of the
Yeah, if you could, Louis, I'd like to take one if I could.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Doug, you want to get up there? And Mr. Daly, could you hold it up with his son?
I'd like to take one if I could. Come on, Buck, get up here.
While he's doing that, I might tell you too, on our environmental day, he was here, Doug was here all day with his equipment, helping the town. He never charges us even a penny for diesel. $6.50 a gallon.
Come on, man, get up there.
No, go on. Nice.
Ben, did you get a picture of that for the?
I'll take over mine and then I'll send it to you.
Scott, you want to grab your phone?
That's all right, he's gonna come up. Sit down. You gonna smile?
I've seen him.
Oh, he's in the wrong button.
Nope, that's the wrong one again. Oh. And there it is.
Here comes
Right up until
All the way?
all the shopping areas.
Got it. Thank you. Yep, thank you.
Yeah, Jim. Oh, I'll have them do that.
Why does it always happen? Like, screw it up.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Congratulations.
Could you send a picture to presenting town maybe?
Or you can send it to me if you don't want to announce it.
Yeah. Send us to.
I'll send you notes.
I look like it's working, man.
You're welcome.
Oh,
I'm glad I came to see you.
Good night.
no, you're,
Because
thank you,
He's
Mr.
helped me out with many things.
Ben, did you have
We're good. We're going. We're out. Thank you all. Thank you. Good night, guys. Thanks. Hey. We're out of here, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Speed.
Privileges of the floor. At every scheduled town board meeting, the public shall have the right to address the town board during the course of the meeting referred to as privilege of the floor. Members of the public shall restrict their comments to items of town business, although there's no official time constraints. Speakers should be considerate of others so that all interested members of the public have an opportunity to be heard. There shall be one portion of the meeting dedicated to the privilege of the floor near the beginning of each meeting. All remarks, questions shall be addressed to the board. No person shall enter into discussion with the person having the floor. Council members may address any comments during the portion of the meeting referred to as council member comments. We'll open up privileges of the floor at 7:21. State your name.
Sure, Kathy Nilsson. First of all, I'm a part of the PAC committee, and I want to thank those that have come out on the Seedling Environmental Day, and I'm sure Gear will submit a report with all of the facts and figures and everything. So, and the other thing I wanted to say is during the course of the winter, a couple of us were having issues on trying to get into the driveway because it's so dark. So there was a discussion about maybe that there should be a light, and then I guess there was a light, but it was taken down. So I have a suggestion of maybe a solar light or a solar light on top of the sign, or maybe lines, something that to distinguish the driveway into the town hall, because it's very dark in the winter and it's easy to miss.
Yeah, we missed it too.
Yeah, and I think even lines. I mean,
or
I
those
know,
reflectors.
yeah, reflectors. Yeah, and they have solar ones too. So. And then I've noticed that the landscaping is, and I know this sounds critical, is kind of weedy, and I don't think anybody's taking care of it. And I don't know. I think the civic committee used to do the gazebo. So I didn't know if that was something that you needed volunteers for, or, because I know they mow the lawn, but, and that's it.
Okay, thank you. Any others? No others? Okay, we'll close up the privilege of the floor at 7:24. I think I got to change the clock. I said that the last time. Okay. Committee reports. As I said, Nick Morris Sr.'s in the hospital, so we don't have a report from him. I know Nick and I were supposed to go out and check over the town roads to see what has to be done. So we'll just have to put that on hold until he gets out of the hospital. And like I said, I hope everybody says a prayer for Nick Sr., hoping for his speedy recovery. And the water, department. Inspector. See in this section. I know you gave it to me, Kristen. Okay, water department. Let's see. April 2022. Gallons pumped 1,593,500. Maximum daily usage 94,000. Minimum daily use is 21,000. Daily average 53,100. We had the following water main breaks: April 12th to 14th. Experienced extremely high usage. Investigation determined out-of-district user on Old State Road had an issue with the sprinkler system line. Water was shut off to the user until the issue was resolved. Continued to work on removing brush by the fence at Reuter Drive Tower location, waiting for parts to isolate the Reuter Drive tank for rehabilitation. No date has been given for the parts required. Once parts arrive and are installed, rehabilitation of the tank will be rescheduled. Chlorine pump failed, which warranted a rebuild. Problem has been rectified. The problem is, as you know, the county has given us $200,000 to rehab those water towers, and now they came up with a problem that they can't shut the water lines down for fear of over pressurizing the lines, so they have to do something over here to correct that before they can shut the drain the tank for rehabilitation for both tanks. So that's on hold, and we all know what the problem is with the supply chain today, and they're having problems getting parts. They've been on order now for months. Respectively submitted. West Blessing, is there any questions? Ben? Jim?
No.
Doug? Nicole? You don't have any problem with it. I'd like to thank Wesley and his team for all of the good work they do, keeping the water system running. As we know, they're all part-timers over here, so it's a...
West is to my house if there's a problem.
Yeah.
It all works out.
And we do owe the county a big thanks for helping us out, because that's the second time they've helped us with our infrastructure, and it's money that we simply did not have in the budget, period. We were, like I said, Lou and I used to stay up nights worried about it, and county did come through for all of us, so appreciate that. And I always try to give them credit, because it's a big deal, it really is, for a little town like this.
I might add, Wesley told me they're gonna start reading the meters next week in the town, so. Okay. Any questions? Okay. And we have a report from our judges here tonight. Michelle, would you like to read your report?
I didn't bring a copy with me, Supervisor.
Would you like me to read it?
Please.
The monthly report for April is about $6,200. Court has increased some in-person appearance. The centralized arraignment court in the Schenectady County Correctional Facility is now up and running, and the first rotation is in place. I will start in the second rotation in July. What does that mean? You're going to be on call?
Yep, so the centralized arraignment court has one judge that works for the whole week on the 6 a.m. The people who are detained in the jail. So there's a 6 a.m. and a 4 p.m. One judge takes care of the whole week, the a.m. and the p.m. So what they did was they had the magistrates that are designated magistrates, like your ones in Glenville, Niskayuna, and Rotterdam, are actually starting that rotation, and then the outlying courts like Princetown and Duanesburg, and I don't know about the Village of Scotia, they will come into the second rotation, which is in July. So I potentially won't be on that rotation until July, You'll go down to the jail. They've built I think I said this in one of my last newsletter articles, that they have built a courtroom in the jail for the judges with all kinds of equipment, fax machines, scanners, so that they can process the detainee and make sure all the paperwork gets sent to the respective courts. And it'll be done more efficiently than each judge having to go to their own court. Like, for instance, this morning it was the town of Rotterdam and the town of Glendale. So Judge McPhail from the town of Glendale took care of that arraignment at 6 or 8 o'clock at the centralized courtroom in the Schenectady County Jail. So it's up and running, and we'll see how it goes. But Matt Shivers, who is from the Office of Court Administration, has been doing some training. I'm going to jump in on the next training for it, just to get they give you a key fob, actually, to get into the courtroom. So, but we have to do our own clerking, so there's not going to be a court clerk there. But that's okay.
So you're not doing any more arraignments here?
Oh yeah. If they pick up I take that back. If they pick up somebody overnight and they're detained at the Schenectady County Jail, Judge McPhail will do, or whoever is the judge on call, will do that arraignment and transfer the paperwork to me for the next court appearance. But I do arraignments on court nights, for first appearances and things like that.
Because you don't come in special one anymore?
No calls during the night anymore.
Okay.
And that's been going on since
So that's split up between all of the judges in the county?
Yeah, pre-pandemic, they stopped doing that.
Okay.
Okay?
Any questions for our judge?
If you don't have any questions, I do have a comment. The judge has been very, very proactive in getting grants for the Justice Department. And she's the lights out there, all those lights, that was from a grant that the judge was able to get. And especially with lighting, the number one thing for security and safety for our employees, for our people that come here, is lighting. And the lighting wasn't great at night in the parking lot. And the judge was able to get a grant to have some really extensive lighting put up on the high poles, and thank you for that. And other grants she's been able to get too. So,
and if you ever come up with an idea, because each year the courts are given, a lot of money, up to $60,000 for a court with 2 judges. So we can actually get anything up to $30,000 for a single judge court. So if there's anything that you feel might come under that umbrella of the Justice Court Assistance Program, just bring it up to me.
Thanks. And it does take effort on your part to get it. That's what we're thankful for. We appreciate it. Those lights are great out there.
They're perfect. Yeah. They really are.
I don't know if anybody's been by it here at night, but if you come by, you can see that this place is lit up.
Yep, perfect.
Like, you can't along with the state police building and with this building over here, there's plenty of lighting out here.
And actually, I do agree with Kathy. There have been a couple times, even our security guy, he missed the driveway at night.
I've been town for 3 years. I missed it. I can't tell you how many times.
Yeah, I think maybe some kind of reflectors or something that would illuminate where the road is.
We took that down as we were paying just for that light.
Right. Well, just reflectors might even work.
I think reflectors, or even like just some.
We should try that for the winter.
When we changed over the lighting over to the town hall and did away the extra bill that we had with the driveway and everything coming in,
we don't need to put electricity there. We just need something that would reflect if our headlights hit it.
I agree. It's a good idea. I've been yelled at many times during the winter by that one over there because I've flown by here.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Michelle. Is there any other questions for Michelle? Ben? Jim?
No.
Else? Doug? Okay. Let's see, we got next up is did the court, we didn't do code enforcement here.
His was the loose sheet.
This one.
This is from our building inspector, Tom Barini. Total permits 2, permits issued 1. Permit inspection fees collected, $240, building inspection 7, zoning 1, fire inspection 0, final building inspections 2, certificates of occupancy 0, bank deposit report $240, check to supervisor account 0, checkbook balance as of May 10th, 2022, $1,732.24, activities and zoning 0, working on planning, zoning needed, working on permit, final inspection is needed, reviewing plans is needed, Thomas Barini, building inspector. Any questions for Tom? If he is, you can call him in, he's in the other room. Ben? Jim?
No.
Doug? No? Okay. You're up, Ben.
Okay. It's been another quiet month. It's been very quiet for dogs. Haven't had any complaints or any problems. I did, however, hear from Isla that, remember Junior, the St. Bernard, that used to get loose all the time on 88? He is still around. I hadn't seen him in a year, haven't had any complaints. I was wondering if he was still with the owner on Uriel Peterson. But he is still around. He broke loose off his chain and wound up next to Isla's neighbor, and she knew whose dog it was, so she took him back. But they've been pretty good about keeping him chained up. But he does have a sense of adventure and likes to run loose every now and then, break his chains and go on a jaunt. So he was one of the big troublemakers. I think 7 times with him getting loose. But other than him, it's been very quiet. No problems. That's it.
All right. Thank you, Ben. Is there any questions for Ben? Doug? Come on. Ben? Jim?
No.
Okay, thank you, Ben.
Okay.
Buildings and grounds. I'm going to be looking at getting prices on upgrading our air conditioning units this spring. We will be looking at trying to upgrade the grounds as was suggested. I know that we had cleanup day here. We've been over here trying to do the beds. We just don't have the manpower to do this, and it's hard to get volunteers to come over here and do weed eating and what have you, and it's quite expensive to hire people to do this. We do have a maintenance guy, but he's busy painting inside. As you can see, did the courtroom over and fixed all of the where we had the leaks in the roof, and he's been slowly painting the offices, but he's only part-time, and he does work for Shelmont as a school bus driver, and plus he helps out with the water department, so we're kind of limited in what we have as far as people coming in to do this kind of work. Last year I tried to get prices for people to come in, and it was so costly to do this that I really didn't even bring it up to the town board, because you know we don't have a town tax, and it's kind of tough to we have to watch our pocketbook, and we have to tighten our belt sometimes, so that's a problem. And you know, you do get volunteers from time to time, but we don't have enough to come in and do all of the work that needs to be done. And like I said, it's quite costly. If the town board wants me to look into it further, I can certainly do that and come up with prices to do this, but the last time I did this, it was so costly that I didn't even bring it up to the town board. And it's hard to find people that want to do that work. There's a lot of people that do lawn maintenance. They come in and just cut the grass and do some weed eating. Our maintenance man does that. He comes in and cuts the grass, but he also does the grass for around the water department. So, and for him to come in and try doing the beds and trying to do all of that, he just wouldn't have the time to do it. And nor do I think he really wants to get down and do that with all the other work he has to do. So, if anybody has any suggestions, they want to go out and get prices and do that, that's fine with me. But like I said, we have to watch our pennies too. And with what's going on over here with, like I said, with the cost for trying to upgrade these air conditioning units and what's been going on, I don't know. I'll have to bring it up again. We've had a problem with the state police building. For some reason, they think that they don't have to pay their rent. They were back 7 months, I think it was, last year. Now they're back 2 months again. I called them today. I got no response from them. So that's another problem over here. And with all the work that has to be done in that building over here, I don't know. We just can't keep up with it over there. The rents don't even warrant what we have to do over there. Other than that, Ben, you got any comments on it? Jim?
Well, you know, unlike other towns that have the little volume control, and they need more money, and a little more tax on it. We don't have that. Never had it. Don't want it. We're not going to do it as long as this board is intact as it is. So the problem is we have to deal with the other end of the equation. You know, we're dealing with a balance sheet. Balance sheet has to work out. We have so much revenue coming in. We have to make sure that everything is done with that revenue. We can't tax you more. We don't want to tax you more. So, you know, unfortunately, we might end up being penny pinchers. And over the years, a lot of us have been here. I know Lou and his wife for years did a lot of the work over in the gazebo, you know, weeding and that type of thing. You get burned out. And a lot of us here are over 70. So we're limited with energy is what we can do. But we have, in the past, volunteered our time and effort here. But, you know, just so townspeople know, we don't have a town tax. We don't have a dial we can turn up. We have to live within our revenue and our budget. If we don't have a budget line for heavy-duty maintenance, like to have somebody come in, we're basically out of luck with that. So I know I agree with you because I go by this building. I can't tell you how many times I live right around the corner. And every single time I go by this building, she says, "This is starting to look messy," my wife. "This is looking messy. I don't like the way this looks." And, you know, yes, she's right, and you're right. We need to do something about it. And we will. We will. It's just everybody should understand where we are fiscally.
I might add that the state police building is getting to the point over here where it's not even worth us to have that building at all. We've already looked at all the avenues that have to be pursued. For the maintenance that's got to be done on it, I've said it before, the parking lot's about $140,000 to redo. They want done. Our rent doesn't even come to a quarter of what that cost is to redo that parking lot. So we are looking at other avenues. We did get a estimate on the building to see what it was actually worth. State police does not want to put any money into it. They don't want to help us out with anything. That's all they want to do is complain about what's wrong with it. And we certainly can't afford it. So we are looking at other avenues. Everybody's going to have to realize that it's come time that we're going to have to look at whether we're going to continue to put money into it, which we don't have, or we're going to have to look at disposing of the building. So, Ben, you got any comments on that? Jim?
No.
Doug?
No.
Paul? Okay, other than that, I don't have anything else. Okay, public hearing, we have none.
The assessor report.
Pardon?
The assessor has a report.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry about that. The assessor's office is staffed by Isla on Tuesday and Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. The assessor is typically in the office on Monday morning, but is available by phone or email anytime. The policy is to get back to any calls or text messages within 24 hours. During this time, the assessment cycle, all field work reviewing new construction is completed and the RPS data for the parcels is updated. Per the real property tax law, the state of New York values certain types of property located in each municipality. The assessor has to update the RPS filing, adjusting these values per town's equalization rate and addressing them to the assessment roll. That's going to be on our website very shortly, what our assessments are. Telecommunications, special franchise, railroad and farm, ceilings value. All name and address changes need to be made to the RPS files to ensure that tax bills are mailed to the correct address. The methodology used with the star exemption has been modified with the state validating enhanced star eligibility. The state reports for each municipality with all changes to the star exemption, and the assessor's office has to update the town's RPS file. All senior low income and farm exemption have to be reviewed in the RPS file updated. Various files in the town RPS administration file need to be updated before the tentative roll can be finalized. As per the real property tax law, a change of assessment notice has to be produced and mailed to each property owner whose assessment has been increased during the year. Due to the strong real estate market, the town's 2022 equalization rate has been changed from 30 to 26.5%. I don't know if that means, I've asked the assessor if we're going to be forced to do a reevaluation in this town. He said no, but as it continues to go down, I don't know. During the month, the assessor's office lost computer functionality, and the town's IT consultant from Vector One, Rich Holt, was contacted and spent several hours adjusting the assessor's computer equipment and connectivity to the servers. I want to give Vector One a shout out for his excellent job done by Rich getting the office back online. I appreciate Rich's dedication and professionalism, and thank you, Jim, for finding him, because we all know the problems we had with our computers before, and he certainly been an asset to the town. He comes almost immediately when we have a problem, and before we never had that. We would go days without having someone come over, and our computers have been down for a good amount of time. I don't know if you wanted to comment on that, Jim.
Well, no, just that, he is doing a great job, and he communicates with me all the time, lets me know what he's doing, and, he is good at what he does, and we're very pleased to be able to have him. Like Lou said, we call him, and he calls us back, and he's usually here if we need him within an hour. So, where do you get that kind of service today?
It is costly to maintain our computer systems. I know that the court's office was down. I know that you use the state computers for whatever, but you also use the town server too. And you had a problem, and he corrected that too, didn't he?
Yes.
So he is very good at this, and we're fortunate that we found him, and thank you, Jim, for doing that too.
Many towns have an IT person right on staff. Again, we're a tiny little town. We can't do that. We don't have the money for that. I'd love to have an IT person, here when the office is open. We just can't do it. So we rely on him. And he's not here every day, but when we need him, he's here.
And it is costly to maintain these computers. That's another problem that we had before. We never had because we didn't have computers. But today everything is computers, so and you have to make sure that everything is up and running, because you can't do anything without them today. And it's costly to maintain them. So.
And cybersecurity is getting more and more costly as well. And we've upgraded that significantly.
Ben, would you like to comment on that now?
The AUP?
Yeah.
Okay, so Cusack Accounting was here May 4th, and they met with Isla and Crystal. So they put together a formal report, but I emailed him to ask how it went. And he said we were on site on the 4th and met with everyone we felt we should speak to.
Could you explain what they did over here first, because there's some people...
Did he meet with you as What's that?
He spoke with Carol.
He did speak.
Could you explain that we hired them to see what?
Yeah, so we hired an accounting firm to kind of look at our internal financial controls. So they evaluate what we do, they say what's good, what's not good, and then they make recommendations moving forward. That's what we paid for so far. That's what an AUP is.
And they found that everything was...
So I don't have the formal report yet. This was just a brief email he sent me. He said we were working on a draft report for your review and should have it to you shortly. In general, we felt that the controls at the town are very good. There are not a lot of issues we noted, basically some suggestions as to how the town could improve controls going forward. And that was it. We don't have like the official report yet.
So that should be forthcoming this coming month then?
Yeah, soon. He's pretty good at getting back quickly, so I'd imagine within a week.
They were just looking at to see if we're doing things right so far. This is not a complete audit, as Ben had stated before. This is not a complete audit of our books. Most towns do it, large towns do it, like Rotterdam and Glenville or Niskayuna. They do it every month, every year. The last time I think this was done was probably when we did put the water system in on the site.
Our town's exempt from audits because we don't get enough federal funding to make it required.
So I think that maybe every 5 years the town should be doing this. And we're not accusing anybody of any wrongdoing. It's just to protect the town, to make sure that everything is done right. Am I correct?
Yeah. Did you want me to ask about an official audit?
Yes.
What the cost would be?
Yeah, we need a cost estimate on doing a complete audit of our finances.
Both the town and water and...
Yes, town and the water department.
So regardless of whether or not this is mandated federally, we have a fiduciary responsibility to do it at least once in a while, just so that we know where we stand. So that's the reason for this.
Anything else, Ben?
I'll ask them about the cost of the full audit. Let's see.
Are we in agreement that we should probably be looking at that?
Yeah, it's our responsibility, sure. I mean,
Yeah.
this is what we're here for.
Okay. All right. All the reports on Crystal?
Yep.
Now we can move on?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Ben, for doing that, too.
Yeah, thanks, Ben.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Go back, Coach.
Oh, minutes, yeah. Then we got public hearings, none. Okay, meeting minutes. It is hereby resolved the meeting minutes of April 12, 2022 regular town board meeting are approved or as amended. Discussion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second? I'll second it. Okay, Doug seconded it. Crystal?
Councilman Pavoldi?
Yes.
Councilman Jackaruso?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora?
Abstain, because I wasn't here.
Councilman Gray?
Good.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. General funds claims hereby resolved that the town board approves the claims number 78 through 94 in the amount of $17,657.21. Discussion? Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Hold on.
Crystal?
Okay, Councilman Pavoldi?
Yes.
Councilman Jackaruso?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. Resolution passed. Water fund claim is hereby resolved the town board approves claim number 43-53 in the amount of $5,674.61. Discussion? Is there a motion? Is there a second? I'll second it. Crystal?
Councilman Pavoldi?
Yes.
Councilman Jackaruso?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passed. Highway fund claim is hereby resolved the town board approves claim number 6 in the amount of $50. Discussion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second. Councilman Pavoldi?
Yes.
Councilman Jacaruso?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passed. Trust and agency fund claims, it hereby resolved the town board approves claim number 7 through 8 in the amount of $3,354.62. Discussion. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman Pavoldi?
Yes.
Councilman Jacaruso?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passed. Council member comments and or discussion.
What do you have to do procedurally to get these hung in town, besides contacting National Grid?
Well, we're gonna have to have somebody hang them up if they go along with it. You know, we're gonna have to,
Just have a state road.
that's a state highway, Route 7. Not a town road. We only have 4 miles of town road, and we certainly don't want it just on town roads that nobody would see it. But like I said, they do it on,
Yeah, I drive to Amsterdam every day.
you see them out there, yeah. Yeah, so it'd have to be approved by, the state, I'm sure wouldn't mind it because they've already approved it. It's National Grid owns the poles, but I don't see why they wouldn't approve it.
Use some kind of resolution.
I think you need to get some sort of permission from the state, I'm guessing, but somebody's gonna have to look into it.
I can send them kind of like a legal notice, basically.
The DOT, and that would be where we
Yeah, I
start.
mean, they probably have to prove, make sure it's not blocking vision, you know, wherever you put it. You can't just throw them up.
I see it over here in Esperance, they hang the flags on the poles. I don't know if they got permission or that, they just
We
went
do that
ahead
by
and
the
did it.
lake too.
Where's that?
Up on the Rockville Lake.
Yeah. So they just go ahead, I don't know if they got permission, but we'd like to do it the right way and ask them if, we can have permission to do that. I don't see why they would give us a hard time. They did it in Amsterdam, and they've done it around different towns, I've seen.
They just probably have to approve the way you do it.
Probably so much above the ground, or, I don't know who's going to mount them. That's the next question. Maybe, we have to talk to our local assemblyman or senator or something. See if there was any money to hang them up, to do that. We certainly don't have a boom truck to do that, or a maintenance crew to do it. County would do it. I know it's a state highway, so.
I think they have these in Schenectady, I don't know if anybody's seen them. I thought the state.
They got them in Rotterdam.
Yeah, I've seen them, but I'm sure we can ask how they've done,
So we can look into that. I'll ask Mr. Daly to look into that. Maybe you can ask
Yeah,
Angela.
I'll say somebody got a copy of it, so you can ask.
Okay,
County or state?
Thank you,
State road.
this is state road.
that's a state road. Route 7 is a state road. Route 20 is a US highway.
Yeah.
This is a state highway. Route 7. Marival Road is a, I think that's a, no, that could be a state highway too. No, that's a county road.
Rival Road is state.
That's a state road too?
That's county road.
So, anything else? Jim, you got anything?
No, I just want to thank and recognize PIAC for the nice job they did. I thought it was very successful.
Yeah.
A lot of people showed up. We did advertise a little more this year. We sent some notices out and we put it in the newsletter 2 or 3 times, so, and on the website. So, but thank you for all your effort. I think it was very successful.
Yeah, and it was good seeing, well, of course, with COVID, we haven't done it in a while, but it was really good seeing residents and some new faces.
Yeah, it was nice to see everybody here.
Yeah, and then Cooperative Extension and Cornell were here, and they were great. They had a lot of information, and so yeah, it was good.
Thanks for your
and that
effort.
was perfect. That ad, and we advertised a few other places, so and it was all good. Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you, you did an excellent job there, thank you. If anybody needs any COVID test kits, we've got plenty. Anybody needs any extras, if they want them, they're certainly welcome to them. They're on the table out there. We've got another case and a half, and I've got in the office if anybody needs them. So, Doug, you got anything?
No.
Nicole?
I just want to thank everybody for their prayers for my grandpa, and I'll let him know that everybody's thinking about him, so he'll be happy about that.
Yes, we just talked to Denise a little while ago.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I have nothing else. So,
I'll make the motion, we adjourn?
yes.
I'll say.
Councilman Pavolny?
Yes.
Councilman Yakurusa?
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. Thank you all for coming. And we'll see you next meeting. If you have any comments or concerns, you can email us or certainly welcome to call anyone